Lames, I agree with most of the concepts in your video. I agree with your general idea and the way you're viewing the game. I understand what you're saying. However, I will have to say that I think you're, comparing apples and oranges. It is they're both first-person shooters. So there's no real, argument there. But when you get down into it, it really is apples and oranges. You've got a first-person shooter that's more of an arcade-style, lone wolf, not much tactics involved, just straight-up gunplay. And then you've got a game that is more strategy, more cohesive team play. You've got to be able to plan your moves ahead of time before you actually, proceed with an assault or whatever the hell you decide to do in the game. You can't just go and do whatever you want. If you do that, you're right. You get completely dominated. You get destroyed. If, half your team's running up the left side of the hill and your ass runs up the right side of the hill, well, you have no backup. There's one guy running up that side of the hill. Of course, if three guys see you, they're going to shoot your ass instantaneously. Modern Warfare 3, half the time I don't even know where my team is. I don't even care where my team is. I'm just a lone wolf running around just murking people. I don't care. So, in respects to, comparing, I don't think there's a real good comparison over which game is better than the other. They're two totally different games at a subcategory level, not as an overall genre, but as a subcategory level, they are two totally different games. As far as perks and stuff, that's with any game. Modern Warfare 2, that's what its main problem was the fact that, you could get the thermal scopes and the heartbeat sensors and have them, busted out on these badass rifles, the double barrel shotguns that just kill people at like 40 feet away. You can't really get those unless you progress to that level. Same thing in, Black Ops, the AK-47. Jesus, dude, talk about an overpowered weapon. And there's more overpowered weapons than just the AK-47, but generally speaking, that's pretty much the way it runs. Battlefield 3 or Battlefield Bad Company, throughout the game, there were powerful weapons. They were absolutely brutally powerful weapons. However, they had side effects. A sniper rifle, one shot, one kill, depending on the distance, depending on, where you shot them at what range did you shoot them at, and where, basically what I just said. But you had to be at a distance. You couldn't just, go around no-scoping people. You couldn't just go and dominate. The game is not about you being dominant. It's about your team being dominant. It's about you playing as a team cohesively in order to, attack an objective. And that's the big thing about Battlefield 3 that a lot of people don't understand. They go off their kill-to-death ratio. Well, I had 26 kills but 32 deaths. I sucked. Well, sometimes that's the game that I play. I'll get, 22 kills in Medal of Honor and, 30-something deaths. But you know what? 90% of the time I'm running up a hill throwing smoke, getting murdered. And it's not necessarily most of the time, but I'm going to an objective. I am killing people so that the man behind me can go in and set the charge. It's not about the individual. It's not about me. It's not about what I want. It's not, well, I want to go up there on the hill and, just start shooting people because I just want the kill to death ratio to go up. No, you want to progress forward with your team. You want to have cohesion. When you see somebody doing something that hey, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to follow this guy. And then, two or other guys are like, oh, yeah, I'm going to follow this dude. And you go and do that. Then, yeah, then your team's going to start dominating. Each individual gets their own, if you get a couple kills, you get your own kill streak. But guess what? You ain't got to earn it. Medal of Honor, you get the mortar strike. You don't have to be a level 42 to get a mortar strike. That's another problem with Battlefield Bad Company. Most of the time in order to get, a higher up perk, you got to unlock it by being a higher level. So in order for, the rich get richer and the poor get poor, that game is a pure example of that. Battlefield 3 levels the playing field. There's no totally 100% dominant weapon in Battlefield or in Medal of Honor or the Bad Company series. Where in Modern Warfare, you've got rifles that you just can't even compete with unless you just get the up on the guy. So that, covers basically that, you really are comparing apples and oranges. That, the perk system is a huge failure in Modern Warfare that really does have an uneven keel throughout the entire game. The other thing is accessibility. You talk about accessibility. Basically I think you're admitting that it's easier to play Modern Warfare than it is Battlefield, But to answer your question on or not your question, but your statement about accessibility, is it comes down to the core fact that it's not about you. It's about the team gameplay, where you're right. It is more accessible to play Modern Warfare. It's a you game. It's just made for you. There's a soldier inside of every one of you as an individual. Battlefield, not so much. You got to be willing to sacrifice yourself quite a few times in order to achieve an objective. And of course, with any game, the more you play, the better you get. I'm sorry you had such a bad experience with Battlefield. Hopefully you can come back and enjoy it. I'm be getting me an Xbox soon. I'll be playing on there as well. But anyways, this is my video response. This is my first YouTube video, so forgive me for my lack of credibility. But anyways, peace.